I'm sorry for the quality of this video because I feel like my brain is basically a bowl of pudding and I don't really have a good excuse except that like my apartment makes me sleepy and I've been in here for most of the day. Like, I feel like whenever I start describing my apartment too much, it just sounds like some kind of like no sleep post about somebody's creepy apartment. Like, no matter how warm it is outside, it's always really cold in my apartment. It's like really dark, obviously, because it's underground. And basically, when I'm here, I just want to sleep no matter what. Anyway, that makes it a really nice apartment if you sort of have the extreme sleep hygiene attitude that I do. Like, I guess I feel like I only want my home to be a place where I sleep because, I don't know, I just do better that way. If I want to do something constructive, I would go to like a coffee shop or the library or something. The joke's on me, I can't do that. So, like, yeah, I basically had thought for quite a while that it would be a good idea to come home on the weekend from work and like just stay home because I don't work on the weekends, but I've just been staying there anyway and just hanging out with my clients' family and like helping out if they need help. But I felt that if I went home, it would just make things feel more normal and like I don't know, I guess I felt like maybe I'd have more energy for work and my client who's just so bored with life would maybe like find it a little more exciting to see me because I think now she's just like you again. Ooh, that's her response to me most of the time. So, anyway, for like a month that this has been going on, every weekend I've been planning to go home. And then, like, that thing happens where if you don't do anything, you somehow get even more tired and like unwilling to do anything. It's like emotional deconditioning. And so, like, I would start off the week like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go home for the weekend. And then, like, by Friday night, I would just be like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't do anything. I can't believe that I'm gonna have to go home, like, pack up my stuff to go home, and then, like, make my bed at home so I can sleep on it. I can't do it. Also, like, they've reasonably cut down on a lot of public transit and there's basically no forms of public transit that I can take home, so I have to walk and it's like 2 miles, which isn't actually that much. It's just that when I'm in that kind of like extremely lazy emotional state, I'm like, I can't walk 2 miles, not with like all my stuff in my backpack. It's so far. So after an entire month, I finally got myself to go home for the weekend, and at first I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I did this. I'm so happy to be with all of my crap. I really have so much crap. I shouldn't ever make videos where you can just like see my stuff sitting behind me. It's just like 500 empty prayer candles. I see a funnel. I see a keyboard that I found by the side of the road. I see spoons. But those are for going to the room. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, so anyways, I was very excited to be home, and because it's so cold and dark and nice in my room, I was like really excited to sleep. And so I went to sleep for like 12 hours, and I woke up super late, and then like I had to wander around the neighborhood a while trying to find somewhere that I could get coffee and food because, a lot of places are closed. That's kind of the other one of the two big reasons I didn't want to stay, that I didn't want to like live at home during this time, partly because my room is like so dark and cold that I thought it would be very weird to stay there just like during the day, but also just because I don't have a kitchen, so it's like a little hard to manage food and coffee when you like can't go and like sit in a coffee shop or sit in a restaurant. But anyways, I finally went out and got some like coffee and food, and then like I came back and the way my neighborhood is, it's like unusually hot and sunny for San Francisco. There's just such like small microclimates here, that it's much hotter than everywhere else. And then, like, weirdly, after walking around in like this really intense sun and heat, I came back into my apartment and I just was extremely cold and I got like so sleepy that I just wanted to hibernate like a bear. And that's how I spent my day. Some reviews of my neighborhood, some things I've been pleased with. I saw some flyers up advertising that people were going to have a Margaritaville themed block party. Like, they're all gonna stand in their windows and like listen to Jimmy Buffett. This morning, well, this afternoon, I guess, when I stepped outside, a bunch of people were standing at the end of their, basically in their driveways, and they were all singing I Left My Heart in San Francisco together, which was cool. I don't know how you get in on that cool neighborhood singing party. And I think I've mentioned a few times before, there's this really rad guy in my neighborhood who does like really, really elaborate chalk art on the sidewalk, most of which for some reason is like Pac-Man themed, but now he's just really gone all out and there's like tons of hearts everywhere, and he also made a coronavirus. I had intended to talk about bear hunting. I might not have mentioned it, but I have been doing it, and I know a friend who's doing it as well. Basically, bear hunting is when you take bears and other stuffed animals and you put them in your window, and then you can see them in other people's windows when you go for a walk, so you feel like you're interacting with another person. Another cool thing that I've noticed is like, it seems like a lot of little kids are doing chalk art as well. Um, I love whales, and I was really thrilled to see some art near my house where this kid wrote something like, "What are you doing to entertain yourself?" "I'm drawing whales." And then there were several drawings of whales. There's this one kid near Anna's house who has written this really elaborate set of instructions. Like, there's like hopscotch you're supposed to do, and then it's like, okay, run for like this amount of sidewalk, okay, stop running, and like all this stuff. And like every time I look at it, it's like, oh bro, like I'm too tired to do that. But thank you for trying to like encourage other people in the neighborhood to be positive. Anyway, that's some of the stuff that I saw in my neighborhood, but I ended up just feeling quite tired at my house, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the future. Like, in my head, the idea of coming home for the weekend and, like, I don't know, doing useful things like cleaning my room that I can't do at work, or kind of like sewing messed up old clothes, you know, and stuff like that. I can think of like useful things to do at home, but in reality, like, it's just so cold and dark that I just spend like the entire day like being like, oh, this is just like the perfect ambiance to go to sleep. Like, I can't believe that I have to be awake for this entire time. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on future weekends. Oh, I forgot I was going to talk about My Cat from Hell. This is a reality show that I've tried to introduce several of my friends to, and I just thought that you should check it out. Like, when I'm at work, even when I'm in like a dour mood and like can't seem to get interested in anything, I always feel a little bit better if I can go to like the on demand and find like My Cat from Hell. It's a reality show where this man who has like holes shaved into his beard comes and he like meets with people who have a bad cat. And first of all, the cats are very entertaining, but also like the owners are very entertaining. Like, there was this lady who kept feeding her cat like a huge amount of food. I mean, I guess it's not funny, it's sad, but I laughed. The cat wasn't doing well, and the lady was just like consumed with guilt. Like, if she didn't feed it a huge amount of like literally lasagna, and it looked like Garfield, if she didn't feed it lasagna, she just like was like, he looks so sad, I don't know what to do. And then like at one point she like went into her entire childhood trauma and like explained like why it was responsible for the fact that she like emotionally felt the need to like give her cat lasagna. So yeah. Anyways, also the dude, the host of the show with the holes in his beard, his thing is like that he basically sees cats as people, which is like very nice, but like sometimes it's like, are you for real? Like, there was recently an episode where he asked these people who had a baby, like, has your cat ever attacked your baby? And they said no, and they said that they would get rid of their cat if it ever attacked a baby. And then like immediately there was like the zoom in on the guy's face, and it like cut to him talking to the camera and being like extremely offended, and he was like, I can't believe that they would like get rid of their cat if it attacked their baby. Like, a cat is a family member. And he was like telling people that they had like the wrong attitude toward their cat because they were upset that their cat was eating like, you know, rugs and stuff. He was like, you shouldn't be upset about your rug. You should be upset about your cat. Like, this is your family member and it's going to have a medical issue from eating the rug. I mean, I guess that's sweet, but like the part about the baby was really strange to me. Like, the idea that you're like a bad person if you like wouldn't keep a cat that attacked your baby. But yeah, anyway, it's a super great show. Like, I enjoy the cats, the cat owners, and like the cat expert. And yeah, you can find it on YouTube. I know I sound like I'm being like paid to promote My Cat from Hell, and I think that probably is what everyone in my life thinks, but like it is just like a really satisfying show to watch. I was gonna talk about masks, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be relevant to a lot of people. I mean, I think most people probably aren't in this specific situation. So, yeah, people in the Bay Area for the last few falls, if we don't live in one of the areas that has been like directly impacted by the fires, you know, to the point that we're like not worried for like our own physical safety, people with like various health conditions have been vulnerable to the air because the air quality is like really dangerous and toxic when there's like fires going on. So yeah, so there have been several years where like San Francisco at least has like been going through periods of time where people will be going around wearing masks. And like I don't know, it's just kind of like odd to experience because at the time a lot of people were going around wearing surgical masks or wearing like bandanas over their faces and stuff, and then like sort of the wisdom from those in the know was like, oh, that's actually bad, there's like no reason for you to be doing that, and like you actually will probably like be breathing in even more of like the smoke particles and stuff that are in the air if you have a bandana over your face and like you feel like you can't breathe as well. And basically you're supposed to have, I never have my mask when I actually need to show it, but it's my vogmask. I showed it before, I think. And so like you were only supposed to use N95 masks or like Vog masks because they actually protected you from the particles. And so I smugly was sitting around with my Vog mask, and when all of this happened, I started to wear it as my mask. And lots of other people dug up their Vog masks or their N95 masks that they bought for the fires and were wearing them. It turns out that not only are bandanas and surgical masks actually better to use to prevent the spread of coronavirus, but that like Vog masks and N95 masks are actually bad to wear because I can't see how, because it feels impossible to breathe in there. It's so hot, but apparently they have like an exhalation valve that's supposed to make it easier for you to exhale. So basically what that means is that if you're contagious, you're totally like breathing all of your droplets out of the mask, so the mask is like useless. So I feel like a douche because like, especially now that we're required to wear masks, you know, obviously I've been wearing my mask everywhere that you're required to wear it. So basically like inside businesses or like waiting in line to go inside a business. And yeah, I hope it helps a little bit, but like it probably isn't. And it's basically like if I wasn't wearing a mask while thinking that I was wearing a mask. I hope that like most people are aware of this by this point, because like I don't want to think how many people in the Bay Area just like fell back on their mask that they already had, which is like exactly the wrong kind of mask. Anyway, when I found out about this, which was like a week ago, I ordered some masks from Etsy, which have taken like a really long time to ship. I'm hoping that I'll get them in the next few days. Because, like, at this point, I'm still just wearing the Vog mask, which I really shouldn't be doing. I should be just putting a shirt over my face or something, I guess. But, yeah, there's not really any excuse for me doing that. It kind of sucks. But I guess I just, like, keep kind of hoping that the new masks will come. I decided to get masks that had, like, fun patterns on them because I guess there's just something about the fact that, like, we can't see each other's faces that make things feel really weird. And at least in California, they sort of, I think, have this attitude that, like, the reason they're making everyone wear masks is that because we might be able to reopen, like, not an extremely long time from now, but that we'll still have to follow a lot of guidelines. And that if everyone wears masks, it will make it somewhat, like, safer to reopen and do regular things. So, where was I going with this? Yeah, so like, you know, it's not like I'll just be running out with my mask on. I'll probably be interacting with people a lot while wearing a mask. And I think just like the fact of like not having a face to like make expressions with when interacting with people just seems like kind of tough and a bummer. So I decided to order masks with like lots of weird designs on them because it feels like a way of like being social when you can't be social like with your mouth or your nose anymore. But yeah, hopefully I'll get them soon. I just feel a bit bad about the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know. I just picked the Etsy seller that had the best reviews because I didn't really know how to pick one aside from that I knew I wanted one that had like